Hello students, this is Mr. Burns and I'm going to go over the project that was introduced today during class, the Supreme Court case analysis. Okay, so go into slide 2 and you will be responsible for choosing one option. Okay, see the green check mark? You're going to move the green check mark if you want option A. Move it here. And that would be focusing, option A is on the First Amendment. There's two cases here, Tinker versus Des Moines and Hazelwood versus Kuhlmeier. If you prefer to do option B, that's the Fourth Amendment, illegal search and seizure. There's going to be two cases, Mapp versus Ohio and New Jersey versus TLO. And if you prefer the 14th Amendment, due process and equal protection, you're going to talk about the Brown versus Board of Education and Regents of University of California versus Bakke. Okay. Slide 3 is going to explain where you can find all your information and what you have to do. So for option A, slide 4 is going to have all your resources, everything you'll need to complete the project. You'll have to complete slides 7 and 10, 7 and 8 for your first case, which would be Tinker versus Des Moines, and slide 9 and 10 for your second case, which would be Hazelwood versus Kuhlmeier. Okay? And if you're going to choose option A, you only have to do slides 11 and 12 at the end. You can skip 13 to 16. And you will follow the directions in the yellow table to do slides 11 and 12. Okay? If you're going to do option B, you're going to do the Fourth Amendment. So all your resources will be on slide 5. And you will, for each of the cases, for case A or case 1, which would be Mapp versus Ohio, you would complete slides 7 and 8. And for the second case, New Jersey versus TLO, you would complete slides 9 and 10. Okay? And then at the end, you would only do slides 13 and 14. You would skip 11, 12, 15, and 16. You can skip all those because those are not part of your project. For option C, your slide 6 is going to have all your resources, your readings, and all your websites you'll need. Slide 7 and 8 will be case number 1, Brown versus the Board of Education. And slides 9 and 10 will be your second case, which is Regents of the University of California versus Bakke. And then you would skip ahead to slide 15 and 16 and complete those two slides. You would skip 11 and 12, 13, 14. Okay. What you'll do on here's your resources, slide 4 if you're doing option A. Shows you all these different websites and all these different links. OYA is a really good summary one. These are a little more detailed. It has a vocabulary list as well. Here's slide B, or here's option B, slide 5. Looks very similar. Cases are different. And here's slide 6, which is option C. This is where all your resources will be for your cases. Okay. So on slide 7 and 8, what you'll do is for case number 1, you'll use the information and you'll fill in this chart. The name of the case, you'll kind of summarize what it says in the Constitution about this topic or in the amendment. Who are the parties involved? The plaintiff is listed first and the defendant is listed second. And then you'll provide some background. What happened? Summarize what happened in at least 4 bullets. All right. And then on slide 8, you will decide what is your opinion on the case. Okay, what is your opinion? What happened? Who won? What was the vote by? And what was your opinion? Explain if you agree or disagree with the decision by the Supreme Court and give a little explanation. Okay, you're going to do the same thing on slides 9 and 10 for your second case. Okay, you're going to kind of fill in this graphic organizer on slide 9 and slide 10. All right. If you choose option A, you're going to go ahead and do slides 11 and 12. All right? On slide 11, it says, pretend you work on a middle school newspaper and it's your job to decide whether to publish articles. Assume you live in a state that has not passed anti-Hazelwood legislation extending greater First Amendment protection to school newspapers than afforded by Hazelwood. Keep the Hazelwood decision in mind, read the following scenarios, and fill in the table with your opinions on each topic. So what you're going to do is read the scenario. I'll read it here. All right? And you're going to explain, would you publish the article or not? Why? Explain why, 3 or more sentences. Do you think your school administration will want to censor or block the article? Explain why or why not. Okay? So scenario 1 says a reporter for your paper writes a long article about the problem of drug use in your school. The reporter interviews several students about their use of marijuana, but does not use the names or other personal details that could help identify the students. The article makes it clear that marijuana use is widespread in your school. All right. 2 says reporters from your school, from your paper, write an article based on the commercial website in which students post the ratings of their teachers. The article includes sample comments on teachers in your school, both positive and negative. The negative comments include, if you get this teacher, run for the parking lot. Can't teach their way out of a paper bag. And this teacher had an affair with another teacher. The teachers are named. Number 3 says, there are high-stakes standardized tests given in your school every May. In order to graduate, students must pass these tests. Students have told your reporters that other students obtain a copy of the test in advance from a teacher. The students involved agree to tell what happened if none of the names of any of the parties involved would appear in the article. So that's if you do option A. If you chose option B, you're going to do 13 and 14 only. The Fourth Amendment to the Constitution is proposed and ratified. It says the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. The source was the United States Congress, 1789, Thomas Greenleaf, and James Madison pamphlet collection. Okay, so you're going to analyze the document to the left and answer each question in 1 to 2 sentences. What do you notice first about the 1789 printing of the proposed Bill of Rights? And observe 2, what do you notice first about the words in the amendment? These are observations. Slide 14, there's 3 questions, again, answering 1 to 2 sentences. Who is protected by the Fourth Amendment? Number 2, whose actions are limited by the Fourth Amendment? And number 3, what rights does the Fourth Amendment guarantee in your own words? So that would be option B. If you're going to choose option C, you're going to do 15 and 16 only. You're going to skip 11, 12, 13, 14. The directions say read the following descriptions of the school segregation cases that came before the U.S. Supreme Court after the Brown v. Board of Education decision. Taking into consideration what you know about the Brown case and the spirit in which it was written, how would you decide each one? So case number 1, Green v. County School Board of New Kent County, 1968. If you were a Supreme Court justice, would you rule this freedom of choice plan constitutional, explained in at least 4 sentences? All right, it says states and counties adopted many different plans to desegregate or keep kids united, their schools. They don't want them separate. In 1965, the New Kent County School Board adopted a freedom of choice plan, which essentially allowed students in the rural residentially integrated district to choose which of the 2 schools they wish to attend. The formerly, used to be, all-black Watkins School, or the formerly, used to be, all-white New Kent School. After 3 years of the new plan, no white people had elected to attend Watkins, and 115 black people attended New Kent. The African-American school children, in this case, contended that the freedom of choice plan in practice operated to perpetuate or make the racially dual segregated school system. It placed the burden of desegregation on the African-American children's shoulders. Okay, and then slide 16, same directions. The case is Swan v. Charlotte Mecklenburg Board of Education, 1971. If you were a Supreme Court justice, would you order the desegregation of this school district through a busing system to disperse students? Explain your answer in 4 sentences. Okay, it says the school district in question was a part urban, part rural district covering 550 square miles and serving 84,000 pupils in 101 schools. The school population was 29% African American students, and those pupils were concentrated in 1 quadrant or section of the city of Charlotte, North Carolina. Even after the Brown v. Board of Education of Topeka decision, more than half of the district's black students attended schools without any white students or teachers. After the Green decision, the federal court adopted a plan to scatter the highly concentrated African American student population by transporting students. The plan would involve 13,000 students and require 100 new buses at a cost of $1 million. Right. All right. So on slide 17, you're going to see a pacing guide You can pause at any time. This will give you a plan of how to attack this project. Thank you.